What's up, y'all? It's your girl Amanda, and we are back with another episode of Thompson and Stuff. So, happy October. We are recording October 12th. Um, I'm trying to get this done because I actually got a big night ahead of me. I'm actually going to celebrate my brother's birthday. I'm from Chicago, so we have stepper sets and stuff. So, his birthday party is basically a stepper set, and I'm ready to, kind of step out and have a good time and have a night out on the town. But it's a lot I really want to get into. Some life reviews, some life updates, reviews, some life updates. One, I just been really, in the cut, working, creating, doing all that stuff. I recently went to the B5 concert they had at the City Winery. Now I'm almost 30. I remember the era of Pretty Ricky, B2K, and all them. And B5 was like a part of that era, but it was like, to me, they were like one of the bands that I really didn't pay attention to like that. I knew their music, but it's like I really didn't pay attention. My best friend, she really, really, really wanted to go, and she asked me, and I said, sure, I'll go with you. Why not? Never been to the City Winery. I've heard of the City Winery, but it was in Atlanta. Um, did I like the City Winery? It it was something. It was something. So the City Winery, the place itself is it's a nice place. It looks like a place where you can have like your wedding reception in. It was split level, so basically it was like the bottom like flat level, and then they had like a little balcony where people sat as well, and then the bar in the back. Um, but the thing was that this concert at the City Winery was sold out. So me and my best friend, we was thinking like we had a whole table to ourselves. We drinking the water, using all the glasses and stuff. But because the show was sold out, we had to share a table with two strangers, right? And it was kind of tight. So imagine you go to like, I don't know, like Taco Bell or Wendy's or something. You sit at the table that seats only four. So me and my best friend, we had half the table, and then the two strangers had the other half. It was just very crowded. Um, but the show, well, the food was okay too. But the show itself, they did a really, really good job. Unfortunately, one of the members, I think his name was Kelly. Kelly. He couldn't make it. He was sick. He was backstage sick. So, but the show was really good. Would I go back for a concert? I would go back to the City Winery, not for a concert. Well, for only a concert. They also have like stand-up comedy comics come in. I remember like a couple months ago, DL Hughley was there. So I would go back just to see the show, but not have the food or the drinks, and hopefully I could like afford to buy out a table because that was just too crowded. Um, I am trying to start a separate podcast for the reviews. I did set up the page for Spotify, so I just got to record. I just have to find time. As I told you guys in the last episode, I watched the Gary documentary with Gary Coleman. I also read Jennifer Lewis's first book, Black Mother of Hollywood, and I also read the Lisa Marie Presley book. Um, I literally just finished that last night, so I have to outline it out so I can record that episode. I'm also doing the Aaron Hernandez show, so that probably won't be done until like probably around Thanksgiving because I'm watching each episode. I watch it on Hulu because if you guys know, the actual show comes on like what, Wednesday night, and then they put it on Hulu at 2 o'clock in the morning. Who the hell is staying up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch that? Not me. So I am working on that and getting that out to you guys because I think what I'm trying to do here, Thompson and Stuff is just going to be strictly news. And then the other podcast, Mandy's Quick Reviews, is just going to be the reviews of books, movies, TV shows. Just like how I used to do on here, but I just want to separate the two, just to keep, things separate, obviously. And you know what? Hey, can I ask you guys a question? So you guys know I'm turning 30 in February. Is it normal for me to outgrow some of my favorite stores? Because I catch myself, well, I kind of put a stop to it because it is kind of expensive. Like for the past couple months, I caught myself shopping more at the Gap. I like the Gap. I like the Gap outlet. I don't go to the regular Gap store because the Gap store is super expensive, but the outlet store is awesome. So I went to the outlet store probably a couple months ago, and they had a sale on top of a sale. And what I mean by that is like, okay, you say the sales price say $24, right? And then there's another sign nearby that says take another 50% off. Then that will go down to $12. Like those type of sales. And I've been going to those a lot, which is crazy. I don't know, is it because like I used to really like Forever 21, but then some stores I would go to, they took the plus size section out because I really can't fit like the extra larges in the regular women's section. I never understood that. So I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old. I'm probably getting old, but I still like my H&M. I still like going to Target for clothes. So I don't know. I think it's just me growing up, I guess. But yeah, those are my life updates. Haven't been really into doing much. You know, it's starting to get cold, so I'm probably gonna be in the house more. Well, not this month because it's Halloween and I do celebrate Halloween, but probably being more in the house and being more into the culture and studying culture and all that stuff. I think that's just what's probably going to be it. And then Christmas is coming. So hopefully, probably I'll do like a wrap up in a year podcast if I have a chance. Because I really didn't get a chance to do like a wrap up podcast last year because I was sick. And then it was the holidays. I got busy and all that stuff. So hopefully I can get all that to you guys. But thank y'all so much for listening and following and for the streams and follow me on TikTok and all that stuff. So I'm truly appreciative of it all. Again, y'all, I'm not famous. I'm not Kai Cenat or all these other streamers you guys watch. I'm just me. I'm just Mandy. I'm just me. But I do want to get into the news. I can't take forever because I have to start getting ready for my brother's party around like 5-ish, so it's 3:30. So I want to just talk to y'all, check in, and give y'all some news. So I want to start with the first story I have written down. T.I. is retiring. And this is another sign that I'm getting old, y'all. Because I remember, okay, so T.I. came out in like 2001. Now, a lot of, like, I talk to people now in 2024, they don't remember the I'm Serious album. And I'm gonna be really honest with y'all. I didn't know about the I'm Serious album until like T.I. versus Tip came out. Because I was introduced to T.I. by my step cousin. He had Need for Speed 2, Underground 2, I think. That the one with all the good music. And one of the songs was 24s. That's the first T.I. song I heard in my life. I didn't know who no T.I. was. I didn't know no I'm Serious. I didn't know nothing about the song he did with Beanie Man. So that was the first T.I. song I heard. And then, following that was Urban Legend. And then King. And then T.I. versus T.I.P. And then Paper Trail. And then after Paper Trail, I just kind of stopped paying attention to T.I. Sorry. No, it's that one album. I think it's that one album, or it was just a single where he had with Carrie Hilson. I got your back, boy. Say I got. That song, and I really like that song. I remember it came out when I was in middle school. But yeah, that was T.I.'s run in my eyes. I knew nothing about I'm Serious. So that's 23 years if you do the math. And now he says he's retiring because he doesn't need the money for it. Now, let me explain something to y'all. They recently, him and Tiny, his wife, went to court because they won some like multi-million-dollar lawsuit for the OMG girls or something. I heard somewhere that, that has nothing to do with that. It's just that, he doesn't need the money for it. He's probably lost the love of it. But you have to also remember that T.I. is not going to struggle without his music. I know we were introduced to T.I. through music, but you also have to remember he has businesses. His wife has businesses. I think he does movies. I think T.I. really does have like other streams of income, so he could step back from music, which was probably at one point his like major stream of income. But he's T.I. Like, He'll be fine. I promise. And it sucks because now it's like, dang, I'm getting old. It's either my favorite rappers are retiring or going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But then again, they deserve it. And T.I. has been rapping, not like professionally, but he's been rapping since he was a teenager. So of course he deserves to retire. That's like, he's what 45? Close to 45? He deserves to retire and go into other things, of course. Probably manage his son's careers because they're coming up in music. One is a country singer and two of them are rap. Well, one of them is a rapper. I don't know what King does, but he's having a baby, so he probably will get into something. So we'll see. We'll see what's next for T.I. And congratulations to him. I bet he's having a regular retirement party. I hope so. Like the people, like my parents worked in manufacturing and they threw them retirement parties. My grandmother's retirement party was held in like the cafeteria, and my mom's retirement party was at like a bar and grill. I wasn't at my grandmother's retirement party because I wasn't allowed to be there. Because since it was inside the factory, I wasn't like old enough, but my brother was. And then I remember going to a restaurant bar and grill for my mom's, and it was just so boring. I wanted to go home. But congratulations, Ti, to you. I hope you do well in whatever you decide to pursue next. Dr. Dre's marriage counselor. There is news that allegedly Dr. Dre is threatening a marriage counselor that worked with him during his divorce from his wife, Nicole. If you ask me, I am 50-50 about this. A part of me thinks that, this could be a way to extort Dr. Dre. I saw on TMZ that there were text messages allegedly between him and Dre. I think it was on an iPhone platform, and what people don't know, well, I mean, overall for smartphones, you can kind of manipulate them to make it seem like, he's doing something when he's really not. Like, it's kind of it's connected to like when a guy cheats on his partner. The guy can easily put the person he's cheating with name as Pizza Hut or McDonald's, or what, I don't know why you would call it McDonald's, but Pizza Hut or some joint you could call in. I think that marriage counselor is in a way extorting but Dr. Dre, and he's coming up with all these elaborate schemes. He's making up text messages, and just to make him look bad, because Dr. Dre did say publicly he did have social anxiety and he really doesn't like attention and all that stuff. But then again, he is Dr. Dre, and you are famous and you got millions of dollars, so of course you're gonna like have all this attention on you. But at the same time, it's like we know Dr. Dre was kind of a hothead back in the day with what he did with D Barnes. He got a DUI. He was arrested. He went to jail for racing in his Ferrari Testarossa. This was like in 1994, like before I was even born. But we kind of know like how Dr. Dre, Dr. Dre is kind of was a hothead back in the day. I don't know about now, and I don't know him personally, but it could be either that or Dr. Dre is really a monster behind closed doors. We don't know. But a part of me just feels like it's 50-50. It's more information coming out about it every day. So I'm not going to jump and say, oh, he's guilty or he's innocent. We don't know, because I just want to wait for confirmation. That's all. Kanye and Bianca, I heard that their marriage is heading for divorce. I would not be surprised, because one can only take so much. Bianca is walking around here half naked. Who wants to be half naked all the time? Who wants to be controlled on what to wear? And who honestly wants to deal with someone who is unstable? And I'm sorry to use this word, but unstable like Kanye West. Now, I heard that Kanye doesn't have like a stable place to live, and also he's trying to move to Tokyo. And I'm against him moving to Tokyo because, bro, you got kids in America like that need you. And you kind of in a way putting all the work on Kim, your ex-wife. I really honestly think it's the bipolar that's really, really taking over. He's really not taking his meds. Um, and if it is true that Bianca is divorcing Kanye, she's getting out the best that she can. Because nobody needs to deal with that stress, and she needs to go back to normal. I've seen old pictures of Bianca and she was so pretty and looked so innocent. And then she got with Kanye and just it went up in flames. I don't know what that's all about, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised. And Kanye, honestly, if he is single, he needs to stay single. Because that was kind of quick that they got married after him and Kim got divorced, even though they've been split up, like separated for a couple years. But that's kind of fast. Because Kim dated Pete Davidson for like a hot minute and then she broke up and then she never got with anybody else. Now, don't y'all sit here and argue with me and say, oh, well, she got with Odell Beckham. I ain't seen no picture of them all loved up. So it didn't happen. So that's my opinion. It didn't happen because I ain't see no pictures, no proof, no nothing. I just saw this woman out minding her business and raising her kids. She ain't dating no Odell Beckham. I don't believe that. I don't believe that one bit. So Kanye just, if he does move to Tokyo, he just needs to go to Tokyo and focus on himself, and also focus on his business because Yeezy is kind of falling apart, if you ask me, in my opinion. So, what else? Uh, Um, yeah, talk about that. I have like a long list of stuff to talk about, but I just really don't. I don't know what to do because I'm just like all over the place right now. I'm just excited, probably just because I'm back podcasting, and then I'm probably gonna do like a couple Thompson and Mandy's Entertainment Reviews episodes after this. Um, let's see. Oh, I'll start at the top. So Kendrick Lamar was picked to perform at the Super Bowl, and New Orleans is mad. Simple way to put it. So I'm happy that Kendrick Lamar is performing at the Super Bowl. He did a really really good job when Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre did their thing at the Super Bowl a couple years ago. So for him to come and do the Super Bowl in New Orleans is awesome. And people are mad because, oh, why didn't you pick Lil Wayne and blah blah blah. Now, granted, I understand. Yes, you could have picked Lil Wayne, but there's this one word that people seem to forget: collaboration. Collaboration. When people come together to work together. So, New Orleans, right? New Orleans is home to No Limit and Cash Money, right? And then there was like some sort of beef between them and yada, yada, yada. And then Cash Money signed over here and Young Money signed over there, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm sorry. No Limit signed over here, Cash Money Records signed over here. It was a lot of mixing going on, right? So, what happens if, Kendrick Lamar gets this bright idea because he is a younger hip hop generation artist and probably looked up to these artists before him in No Limit and Cash Money Records? What if they say, "Oh my God, I have an idea for them to come on and just, share the stage with me." He gets 20 minutes on the stage, I believe. So he can like do his set for 10 and then do his then to get the New Orleans set for another 5 to 10 minutes. People just jumped in and assumed that he snubbed Wayne. No, in my opinion, he could have the opportunity to call Wayne and say, "Come on the stage." But Wayne, he did make a video on Instagram. He said, he is kind of hurt, but he's not going to let it tear him down. But that could be that could be a marketing thing too, a scheme that he could be on Instagram playing with these people saying, "Oh, I'm hurt, but I'm not gonna let it affect me," and then turn around in February and boom, there he is on the stage with Kendrick Lamar. So, well, you never know what can happen. So I don't know why people just, jump to that conclusion. I never understood that. Rest in peace to Frankie Beverly. My parents are old as hell, I ain't gonna lie. I grew up listening to Frankie Beverly at cookouts and my mom playing the music around the house when she was in the mood to play music. Cookouts, parties. I knew some songs on my own. You know, it sucks that a lot of our legends are leaving us, but it's part of life that, you live, you have a great career, and then you retire and, you live your last years out. So rest in peace to Frankie Beverly. James Earl Jones, rest in peace. I know him as King Joffrey from Coming to America and other roles too. He was 93 years old, so he lived a wonderful life of, using his voice as an instrument. He was in like The Lion King and all that stuff. So rest in peace to him. Tito Jackson. Now this one hit me like it sideswiped me because I didn't know, like, wow, like that was shocking. So what happened to Tito was that he was driving from New Mexico to Oklahoma and he had a heart attack. It was a Sunday night when I found out. I was laying down getting ready for the week, and then I saw rest in peace Tito Jackson, and I thought same thing with Rich Homie Quan. Internet hoax, you're killing people off, but no, it was confirmed by a Jackson family representative that he passed away from a heart attack. I don't know if they had a funeral or anything. No one really never really said anything. They, just went online and said rest in peace and all that. So I don't follow the Suns 3T like that, but I do check their pages occasionally, but nothing was mentioned about a funeral, so I don't know. Dikembe Mutombo, NBA great. I remember watching Dikembe a lot growing up. He passed away from brain cancer at 58, I believe. He was young in age. He was probably in his 50s. I don't want to say 58, but in his 50s. So rest in peace to him. And then lastly, oh wait, no, sorry. Sissy Houston, who was the mother of Whitney Houston. She was 91 years old. And I always wondered, did she sing background on If I Can Dream by Elvis? Because whenever I listen to that song, I can just kind of tell that the background singers on there were black. So I just always wonder if she sang on there, because I remember reading Whitney Houston biographies and stuff that Sissy did leave Whitney at home with her husband John to go tour and sing background for people. And If I Can Dream came out in like 68 and Whitney was born in 63. So I don't know. Like that's what I always wondered that every time I hear that song. Ethel Kennedy, she actually passed away a couple days ago. What happened was she was at home in, I guess, Hyannis, the Kennedy compound, and she had a stroke, and she was in the hospital, and then she passed away the next day. And you guys know I am a history buff. I am obsessed with Kennedy, so I'm so sorry to hear that Mrs. Kennedy passed away. And what also surprised me was that, like, John F. Kennedy was assassinated almost 60 years ago, and she never remarried those 60 years. She just raised her kids, which was like she dedicated her life, and there's nothing wrong with women dedicating their life to children, but you know, when her children grew up and moved out and lived their own lives, did she ever get like lonely? If that's I mean, there's someone out there for everyone. So I guess the love of her life was really RFK Sr. So, but rest in peace to Mrs. Kennedy. Lastly, John Amos, who is James Evans Sr. from Good Times. He passed away. But the thing with this one is that, like, he passed away in August, and here we are in October, and we just found out. When I first heard that, I thought, okay, the family, they want to keep it low key, they want to grieve and then share with the people, yeah, my dad passed away, blah, blah, blah. But the truth was, Mr. Amos's son, KC, and I do see these two on TikTok all the time. They look like they're having a good time singing and dancing along. But the truth was that KC was kind of doing some elder abuse, isolating him, not giving his meds because Mr. Amos had cancer, cremating him, and then just not telling the rest of the family. So Casey has a sister named Shannon, who's also John Amos's daughter, and she said that she found out the same time as we all did as the general public. I automatically knew what was up because, like I told you guys, well, I don't think I really went into detail about it. That's how we found out my grandfather had died. So I knew when as everything unfolded, it's like I saw it before. I really did, because I saw it with my own grandfather, which was so messed up. And um, KC needs to be investigated, I guess. And also, I feel bad. Oh, I don't feel bad, but I also found this out too. I watch you, as you guys know, I watch Funky Dineva show, on his YouTube, and Funky Dineva went on to say, oh, he had some sort of interaction with Casey, and it was just not the best, because Casey started getting mean in simple terms with Funky Dineva and started bullying him. And I didn't like that. I didn't like to hear about him bullying Funky Dineva, like, unnecessarily. And Funky Dineva and, like, his sister Shanna said that Casey has mental issues and drug issues. So I don't know. I think KC honestly just needs to be investigated for all that stuff, because who the heck cremates their family member and doesn't notify the other family members like that? That just does not make sense to me. So, rest in peace, Mr. Amos. Shannon Sharp has sex on IG Live. I know this like happened a couple weeks ago, like a few weeks ago. I just want to say ill. My Christian ears. Why, Uncle Shannon? He said that his Instagram was hacked or whatever. No. I've been on Instagram Live once, and it's when you're drunk, it's very tedious. But when from a sober mind, you go to the camera and you press live. There's no way someone hacked you or you accidentally did it. No, no, no. You gotta press some buttons to get to that part of what's going on Instagram, So no, I don't believe it one bit. You press that button not to frame that woman, but I don't know what was the ordeal was. But no, you don't get hacked and then boom, you're on Instagram Live. I don't believe it one bit. But he did apologize, and he's not in any trouble because, as you guys know, Shannon Sharp works for ESPN, who's owned by Disney, and Disney don't play that shit. So, but yeah, it all blew over for Shay Shay, Uncle Shay Shay. So, what else is going on here? The Rich Homie Quan. I have a Rich Homie Quan update. So the first update I had was that his brother found him with food in his mouth on the kitchen floor. I still stand on my opinion. Like, wherever he got the fentanyl from needs to be investigated. I saw the police report. Andre Rich Homie Dre, found him with food in his mouth and blah blah blah. So he moved him to the couch. Now, I've been on TikTok all day today, people saying this, that, and the third. Here's my opinion. I don't know who, what, where, and why. All I know is wherever he got the fentanyl from, it needs to be investigated. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to point no fingers at nobody. I'm not going to say, well, she said this and that. He just needs to be investigated where the fentanyl comes from. Now, I also found out the cause of death. He had lean and some other pills in him, but fentanyl. No. If it's not doctored, administrated, if it's from the street or wherever it's from, investigation automatically. Just like Michael K. Williams, Mac Miller, all that stuff. And the reason why I say that is because the body cam footage was leaked out to the public. I don't know why. I don't know how. They said that you could get it from the city of Atlanta or the state of Georgia. I don't know why something like that would be public, but it was on TikTok. It was right there. Saw it. Pretty sad. People were saying, "Oh, the girlfriend's not crying," blah blah blah. When you're in shock and a lot of things is going through your body, you may or may not cry, and you have to be calm. Like I said in the last episode when she was talking to the 911 dispatcher, you have to be calm when you talk to a 911 dispatcher, because it could make everything worse. So she's trying to remain calm. And then I saw in the video that there was a little kid there. I don't know why there was a little kid there, but I guess she was trying to stay calm for the little kid's sake as well. And then, trying to communicate with the officers. And then the other two guys were there, Dre and their engineer. It's just a situation where, yes, it is very tense and crazy, but just, remain calm. So that was released. I kind of get sick seeing that on my TikTok feed, and then it was on YouTube, and people were like breaking it down and all that stuff. I'm just like, oh my god, I get really sad just looking at it. And I just got done crying for over the whole thing because they also had his funeral, and his funeral was really really nice, really nice. Um, I've been to funerals in my adult life, and I've seen people just show up in anything, basketball shorts, gym shoes, and just all that stuff. But the way the Lamar family did Quan's funeral was just really regal and very classy. Um, it was live streamed. I watched it on the live stream, and I cried the whole time because Quan was my favorite. He was one of my favorites. I loved Quan since I was 18 years old. And not only that, but I grieved for his children. He had 5 kids. And I didn't know until now he had a daughter, because I remember an interview that said he said he had 4 boys and no girls, and he can't make a girl for nothing. And it was on Vlad TV, but I later found out he did have a daughter who was just so cute. And yeah, yeah. I still do get sad about Quan because he was my favorite. And then also, you guys, Quan had a new album come out. And I got some favorites on there now. I like listening to that album. It has 35 tracks on it. It came out probably like a month. No, it came out on his birthday. He just had his birthday, October 4th, and he would have been 35. So, if you guys get a chance, listen to that new Quan album. It does tell a lot about what's going on with him. One thing I didn't know, and then, people don't really share about this, is his struggle with, mental health and all that stuff. And it made me sad, but it brought comfort to me. Like, I never met Rich Homie Quan, but I loved him. I adored him. And it just, brought comfort that, we have this body of work to listen to whenever we miss him. And then also his family has that body of work whenever we miss him. We think about him. We have his music, his mixtapes, So may he continue to rest in peace. I do miss him dearly. I do miss watching him on IG Live. He was a funny person, and yeah, that just made me sad. I guess I could get into the Diddy stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna get into the Diddy stuff. So Diddy was arrested when he was in New York. Why? Oh, he was in New York because he, I guess, was supposed to be doing something about these charges, but then they came and they got him from his New York hotel room. And I saw the video too. TMZ had the video. They messy. Even though as much times as I get mad at TMZ for being messy, this time for being messy, I was like, oh my. So I saw like their CCTV coverage. And yeah, I think he had on some sort of like jacket draped over his shoulders. He had like the handcuffs in the back, walking him out. So Diddy is actually in the prison or the jail that R. Kelly was in for like the longest. I don't know if R. Kelly is still there, because he was bouncing between MCC and the Brooklyn jail. I don't know the real name, so I'm just gonna call it the Brooklyn jail. He was here in Chicago at the MCC, but I don't know. I think he's still out there in New York. I don't know, but yeah, he was arrested, and then he just had like a hearing yesterday or 2 days ago that he's been trying to get out of jail. He's been trying to, negotiate. I'll put up my house. I'll put up my mama house. I'll surrender my passport. And then, of course, is looking at Diddy like, LOL, no. Not happening. Not, mm-mm. And they also did the raid. Remember the raid some time ago, like last year or something? They found a bunch of baby oil. And Costco was like, we don't sell baby oil like that. And Costco's like, don't put me in it, please. Please do not put me in it. Um, it's a lot to this. It's like a whole puzzle. So not only did they find the baby oil, then Shine comes out and says he ruined my life. And I was thinking, like, I was probably thinking behind, like, when it first came out, because I was like, if he ruined your life, why were you around him? And then why did you perform on the BET Awards when they were doing, like, the tribute to Diddy? And it turns out that Shine was basically doing it to get money for the country, which I understand because you represent a country, but there's other wealthy people in this world. You should not have gone to Diddy if he ruined your life. Just saying. Um, Kevin Liles stepped down because Kevin Liles is so young. He's got to be like in his late 50s or something. He's not. There's no reason for you to step down in your late 50s, and you seem dedicated to this industry, and all of a sudden you step down after things went up in flame for Diddy. So that was suspicious. Aubrey O'Day went on the Dumb Blonde podcast with Jelly Roll's wife, and she went into detail about stuff that happened to her and Diddy. And then his mom had like a heart attack or something, and she went in the hospital. So things just really started to unravel in like Diddy's world. And then let's see, there was a fake Kim Porter book that was written by some dude on Amazon. And now a lot of people ask me, like, how did was that person able to publish a book like that full of lies? Well, it was published through Amazon, and I'm an independent published author. So I publish my books through Amazon. You can put anything you want on Amazon and publish it. Somebody will buy it. No questions asked. Whereas if I had like an agent, because this person didn't have no agent. If you had an agent, it's a process, and that book probably will not come out for another like year if that was represented by an agent. Whereas if you're by yourself, you're independent, um you could do what you want and you could put it out. I could write a book tonight, it'll be out tomorrow. Just saying. Just saying. So that's how that book came out, but it was removed off Amazon, so nobody has to worry about that. So the book, let's see. Don Richard came out and said she was abused by Diddy. And then Kalina came out and said she didn't see any abuse. And, I more so believe Dawn, because I feel like Kalina just might be waiting around to get Diddy dirty money back together. But Dawn, I believe her. She went into detail about a lot of things. And not only that, but she's worked with Diddy before in Danity Kane, so she's probably seen more. She was locked in a studio and she couldn't eat or drink anything, and she couldn't do anything. And yeah, this whole Diddy thing is unraveling really, really badly because it's a whole map on my paper. His Miami key was revoked, as it should be. Any award that Diddy gets, it should be revoked. Honestly, because Bad Boy Records was built on shame and abuse, in my opinion. And then his mom comes out and says, "My son is not a monster." Janice, please. Okay, I know that's your son, and and as a mother, you have to defend him. But, ma'am, if you come out and say something like that, you can say what you want, but everybody's gonna side eye you because the evidence, the people coming out saying this, that, and the third happened. 120 victims. No, I'm sorry, 200 victims. I believe I watched the whole press conference. Like, I understand that's your son, but girl, like, no, he's a monster. Like, he's evil. And then they said the latest crime when they had the press conference, I think it was down in Texas. They said that the latest victim was from 2024, so earlier this year. From 1991 to 2024. That's a good 33 years of abuse. So I don't know what to tell you, Miss Janice, because yeah, no, your son's a monster. I'm sorry. Somebody's got to say it. Somebody's got to say it. And it ain't over yet because his trial is in May of 2025. So that means he's going to sit in jail until May of 2025. I wonder, is his Instagram page still up? I don't follow Diddy on anything. I used to follow him on Snapchat, but I don't have Snapchat anymore. So I deleted it. Let's see, Diddy. All right, well, Diddy's page is still up, and he hasn't released or put up anything since the 25th of July. He was arrested, September? So yeah, he's gonna be away for a while. He's gonna miss the holidays and stuff. All I'm concerned about is his children. Is his children okay? They're his daughters is getting ready to graduate high school, and then his other daughter before the twins, or same age as the twins, she already graduated from high school. So, she's living her life. But I'm concerned about the youngest two, just to make sure that they're taken care of and all right, and despite of all the craziness, you know. But moving on from Diddy, because I really don't want to talk about Diddy. It's too much. Um, let's see. Project Pat is a preacher now, and you know what? People can get mad at it, but also I'm very happy to hear that. Um, you guys didn't know Project Pat is Juicy J's brother, and their father was a pastor. I wasn't surprised. Because you grew up with a pastor. 50-50, you're likely going to become one or follow the footsteps. If you don't, you still follow the Lord. That's just my opinion. Derrick Rose retires. Now, I was in my feelings about this one because I remember when Derrick Rose got drafted. I was 13. And I had a big crush on Derrick Rose, like so much my dad was like encouraging me to marry Derrick Rose. So for him to go and announce that he is retiring is great because one, he's been injury plagued for a long time. Two, he is kind of getting older. He's like probably 35-ish. And I think like the average age to retire from the NBA is like 35 to 37. Because if you go into your 40s doing this, LeBron James, you're going to get more injured and, it could get worse. So he retired at a good age for him to enjoy his family and enjoy other activities outside of basketball. I haven't really been keeping up with his career because I forgot when he left the Bulls, he went somewhere. And then that's when I just stopped kind of following him. But, he's been with different teams. He's, been in Chicago for the longest. So it's just time for him to enjoy his family and his friends and his kids and his wife and all that stuff. So, yeah. Let's see. Julie Chrisley has been resentenced to 84 months in jail. And let me just say, I'm not surprised. As that's all, I'm not surprised because the seriousness of their crimes and also, reality TV stars. I think when reality TV stars go to jail, they don't get the best like treatment ever, So yeah, she's been resentenced, and I kind of blame Savannah Chrisley too because she went on her podcast. Well, no, she went to the RNC to probably look for help from Trump, but Trump couldn't help her, and so yeah, that was very like that didn't help. Like I'm not laughing at the situation, but it just didn't help. So she was resentenced to 84 months. Also speaking of guilty, Justin Johnson, who killed young Dolph, he gets life in prison. And you know what the fucked up part about all this is? He was doing a hit for thousands of dollars, was only paid $800. Was only paid $800, and Yo Gotti was involved, and I'm like, what the fuck? All a mess. And because of his Yo Gotti's involvement, I don't listen to his music anymore. I don't. It's like I cut him off. I can't listen to him anymore. It's just I see his face, I look at him, it's just like, ugh. And then people are telling Angela Simmons, Angela, get away from him. I agree, Angela, get away from him because, this whole situation is dangerous. And I don't know too much about the streets, but I do know that situations can start small and then it can extend. It can extend. So take what you want from that information. Don't say I didn't warn you. Let's see what else. Jermaine Dupri says that R&B singers today don't have gospel roots. And I want to add on is because some of these R&B singers have young parents who probably are turned off from the church and didn't take their children to church. Those said R&B singers to church as kids. That's why. Yeah, I mean, that generation is probably the 80s. The parents were probably born in the 80s, and then the new R&B singers were probably born in the late 90s, early 2000s. Shoot, Lotto, I just found out I'm freaking older than Lotto. I was a teenager when she was like a kid on the rap game, so I mean, Lotto's not an R&B singer, but y'all know what I mean. Like, those new artists are only like 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 years old, and their parents are probably like in their early 40s. So of course, they're a little bit more woke that the church is like bad. Well, not bad. Like, I don't want my child being indoctrinated in this, so I'm not taking my child to church. That's why there's no gospel roots, because they're not taking their kids to church, in my opinion. Now, there are some R&B singers that did go to church that are younger than me, but I think Jermaine Dupri is probably talking about the majority of it, but that's just my opinion. And then R. Kelly Daughter's documentary is coming out, and basically what happened is that he sexually assaulted her, and I just think that R. Kelly is a monster. A monster. Like, what the hell? I think he should serve more time just for that. For her being his daughter. They should add more time for that. R. Kelly should never get out of jail, in my opinion, ever. He's cooked. He's cooked. Let's see what else is going on. Lastly, Tupperware files for bankruptcy. And I'm not surprised. You know why? We are in the era of I saw it on TikTok. And me, like, I like to watch refill, what is it called? Like, restock, refill. And most of these, like, these creators, they use like the glass containers because nobody, like, plastic is bad for the environment apparently, so they get the glass containers. That's why Tupperware is going out of business, because we're using glass containers. And if we're not, bougie enough to use glass containers, then we're using like leftover butter dishes, like my grandmother does and all my other family members. But yeah, Tupperware is going out of business because we're using butter dishes, or not butter dishes, butter containers and glass containers. You're welcome. But that's all I have. Thank y'all for listening. I know it kind of seems like I'm hyper or something. I'm talking really fast. I had green tea with a little ginseng, and I had like I had a smoothie and some eggs and some sausages. I'm trying to eat more healthier. I did lose I lost like overall when the pandemic started, I gained a lot of weight. Because all you could do was like eat and stay in the house. So I gained like probably like 40 pounds, and I've lost 30 of it. So I'm trying to get to like whatever the weight is on my driver's license. So I've just been really, really focusing on trying to eat healthy. So that's what's going on. I'm trying to get right in the mind, trying to get my anxiety under control, trying to get everything under control. But I thank y'all so much for listening. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, I would say X, but I don't really be on there. I just be retweeting stupid stuff. But thank y'all again for listening. I gotta go get ready for this party. But before I do that, I do have some other things to record, like some reviews. So keep on the lookout for Mandy's Entertainment Reviews. can't wait to share that with you guys. And I'm just in here rambling, so let me get off here. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.